So good morning to everyone. So this is Madan Chistran, so working as assistant professor in Konganadu College of Engineering and Technology. So today we are going to see the subject web technology. Okay. So in that unit one, we are going to see about the website basics and HTML, so hypertext markup language. So we can see one by one. So first we are going to see what is mean by web technology. What is the definition? So it encompasses the tools. There is a lot of tools to prepare the websites. So there is a encompasses the tools, protocols. It is a set of rules and regulations, and some of the programming language used to build the websites and web pages, and also we have to maintain the particular page and interact with the particular website. So this everything, the tools and then technologies. It's entire encompassed with a single frame we are telling as a web technology. Okay. So it will act as an interface between the client and the server. So it's a web client. We can tell as a web client and web server. So how we can design these web technologies means, so it includes a mock-up language, programming interface, and online presentation tools, Java applets, and some other video editing tools, and so on. So there are two types of scripting languages will be there. So one is a client side and one is a server side. So what are the client side scripting language comes under? The first one goes for the HTML. So hypertext markup language. After that it comes as a JavaScript, and then CSS, XML, and so on. So these will comes under the client side scripting. So next is the server side scripting. So ESP, JSP, Java servlets, PHP, and so on. So these are the some of the languages and scripting tools we have mentioned in that will comes under the client side and as well as the server side. Okay. So next one we are going to see about the communication between the client and the server. So normally how we can communicate the communication done between the client and the server. So there are in architecture will be there. So there are three components to be present in the client server communication. So first one is a client PC or web client. So that is a V, our side client PC. It's a client one. Okay. Next one is the application server or web server. Then another one is a database server. So in this diagram, you can easily understand the client server communication. So first one, so listen, this one is a presentation layer, that is client PC. Another one is the database server. Now in between we have the application server. So whenever client has to request to the server, so either it may be application server, whatever, database server. Suppose if the data is present in application, you can retrieve directly from the server to the client. Suppose if the data is available in the data server, so how it has been processed means the request has been processed from the client PC, and then it will goes into the through the application server. So data is present in the database server. So once data is fetched, it has been written back to the application server, and response investment data has been submitted to the response as a PZ. So this has been done as a client server communication, simple one. So consider you are the client. So you are requesting some other data in a website or web page, whatever it may be. So that is considered as the request. Okay. So once request has been done to the from the client and it has been given to the application server means, so application server will find so where the data is present in the database server. So once it has been found and it will return back to the application server, the application server will return back to the client piece, that is our side, as a response. This is the usual communication has been done between the client and server communications. It will applicable for the both client and the server, web server or web client, whatever it may be. Okay. So there are some advantages and disadvantages in the client server communication. More majority we have the advantages only. So the performance will very good, and the architecture is a very scalable one, and this architecture will be very flexibility one. Okay. And data and code reuse will be done in this client server communication and improve the data integrity and security. But some of the features is not available in this um, well, some of the disadvantages will be in present as complexity is increased because lot of codes will be there whenever it goes to one. So the complexity will be increased. The cost of networks maintenance will be increased. So next we are going to see about the basics of internets and internet protocols. Okay. So what is mean by internets? It's a global system. Okay. It's a which digital connects a lot of computers and a lot of devices for the to connect the networks. So this is the concept of the internet. So basically we know about the WWW, so the World Wide Web. It is a collection of software that corresponding to the protocols to access the resource over the network. Suppose if you want to go to check the mail in the internet means. So what we are going to do, we are going to go for some other Gmail or some other Yahoo. So what is that? Since one of the software, it corresponds, it can transfer the data better from one place to another place. For that, we need the platform as a World Wide Web. So it has been introduced by the Sir Tim Berners-Lee. So he is the contracted the European Organization for the Nuclear Research, Switzerland in 1980s. This person only, they created the World Wide Web. So he built the personal database for the people and software models and used hypertext so that each new page information was linked to the existing page. So this person only introduced the World Wide Web. So in that we can see the internet progress and the major role, it's a vital role playing in a world wide web. So without this, we cannot communicate anything. So this is important. There's a lot of protocols will be there. We can see one by one. So first one is the file transfer protocol. So already we know, already I said, so protocol is a set of rules. The file transfer means it is going to transfer the file from one network to another network or one system to another system. So between the computers. So here I have given the diagrams given as a FTP client and FTP server. Suppose I want to transfer the one huge number of huge content file means from the client side to the server side means. So I have to use this FTP. So without FTP, we cannot perform. So usually some other protocol will be there, but a huge number of files will be communicated or transferred by this by this protocol only. So next one is the hypertext transfer protocol, so HTTP. So it is an request and then response protocol. Both it will act as it will both will act as a request and response. So this transfer the information on a local area network and worldwide business. Of course, this has been done within the system or within the network or outside the network. So the worldwide web. So another one of the thing is it's a stateless protocol. What is stateless? Means not able to maintain the previous conversation or information. So it cannot maintain. So the history will not be there for this HTTP. So next one is the SNMP. So simple network management protocol is the protocol so which enables for the network administrators. So a lot of administrators will be there. So one of them system admin and the network admin. So for this person, especially introduce the SNMP. So it is used to protocol to manage the network related administration. So some problems or something raised means we can go for this protocol. Next one is a simple mail transfer protocol. So it is a protocol which is extensively used for the transfer of emails to the remote servers. So not only normal servers, it's a remote servers. So the next one is a POP, that is post office protocol. So usually we have to use in a Microsoft Outlook Express whenever. So mostly this will use in a end user only, not in a server side. So whenever you have to use the Microsoft Outlook Express in our system, we have to install it, and then we have to connect it that, to the particular Gmail or Yahoo Mail, whatever it may be. So we have to define or we have to get the code for the POP from the particular domain ID, that is the domain mail. That is, it may be either Gmail or it may be a whatever the email. So it may be there. Okay. So next one is the TCP, so transmission control protocol. So this is one of the important protocol in the internet protocol. Everything is important, but mostly it is playing a vital role. So what is the used for the transmission control protocol? Means it is a safe delivery of data and error detection. So assurance of the current sequencing of a data has been data being received. So error detection is a major thing. So whenever the data is sending from one place to transferring from one place to another place, some may be error may be occurred. It may be delivered partially or it may be completely. It cannot be received from the user end. So this kind of error has been detecting and we have solved by using this transmission control protocol. So next one is the UDP. So it's a user detection protocol. It is a connectionless protocol. So without any error detection facility. So UDP is an unreliable protocol. However, this much is faster than the TCP. So next one is the World Wide Web. So already we once again we discussed. So it is a collection of computers or some other devices such as they given as a printer, scanners, so routers, whatever it may be, so connected together. Whereas the World Wide Web has been collection of software that corresponding the protocols to access the resource over the network. So simple. We are going to access some other files through the network or through the network means. So we need the www World Wide Web. It may be either text or audio or video, so whatever it may be the content which we are required from the particular as a user we are requesting to the server. So definitely we need this www. This platform is very much needed. So it is a combination of software corresponding protocols to access the resource. It may be either any protocol already we seen TCP IP or HTTP, FTP, whatever it may be. So depending upon our requirement, so the protocol may be vary. Okay. So next one, we are going to say about the HTTP request message and response message. Okay, so you can say one by one. So HTTP request, first we can see. So this is the basic feature of the protocol. Is that is for the request response model. So both it is already we seen. So it is an both action has been it is performed. So both request as well as response. So some of the protocols only request or response will be performed. So this protocol will supports the both the things, so request and then response. The client makes the request to the result web page by giving the URL in the address bar. Take simple, suppose I am going to type the some Gmail or Google Meets, I'm going to search Meets. So I'm going to giving the URL name directly in the address bar. So once the request has been submitted to the web server gives the response to the web browser by returning the required page, which is required by the users, which need to fetch the by the user, which is needed by the user. Okay. So how the structure will be there for the HTTP request message structure. So first tag will be the start line. So this is the start line, and then header fields, blank line, and then message body. So we can see one by one. So what are the it is refers the start line, header files, and then head blank line, and then message body. So the start line consists of the three parts. So yeah, of course, for this one, keep remember. So this is we are seeing for the only request message. So next we are going to the response. So it will be looks like similar. Don't get confused. So HTTP request message structure. So the start line consists of the three parts. One is the request message, sorry, request method, and then request URI, and then version of the HTTP. So what is the request method? So I am going to give some request and some methods will be built-in present for this one. So what is so get method? So used to retrieve the information from the particular URL URI. So used to retrieve the information from a specified URI. That is a get. Suppose if it is a post method means used to request the server for the desired web page. So retrieve is different from the request. Okay. Get means I'm going to use to retrieve the information from the specified URI, uniform resource identifier. So post is the it is used to request the server for the desired web page. So next one is the head. So this method is identical to get. So it is an identical to get. So only difference between the server should not return the message body in the response side. Put means it uploads the representation of the specified resource. So delete, you know very well. So it's deleting the specified resource. So trace it's the server echoes the back to the received request. We are going to trace the so where the data has been get and what are the things that happened within the request you can see in the trace method. Okay. So next part is the request URI. So uniform resource identifier is a string used to identify the names or resources on the internet. So it is a combination of URL and URL and URL. So URL represents the uniform resource locator. So URL stands for the uniform resource name. So third one is the version of the HTTP. So usually the first version of the HTTP is the so point 0.9, but officially version of the HTTP is now is the HTTP point 0.1. So this is the thing I have mentioned. Respond HTTP request message structure. This one. So this is the request method. In the start line, we have the three things. One is the method. Another one is the protocol. So which type of which version of the HTTP will be there. So next one is the header files. These everything considers the header files, and then blank line and message body. So these three things will be present in the start line. Okay. So next one is the HTTP response message structure. It will looks like same right, but in a status line will be slightly different. Okay. So we can see one by one for the response message. So status line. So status line is similar to the start line in the request message. So it consists of the three fields. So first one is a HTTP version, and then status code, and then reason phrase. Okay. So same thing in status line in the request also, the response also it will be same thing. So this one is the request one. So the request one start, header, blank line, and HTTP. So in the start line, you have the three things. So request method, request URI, and then version. So in the same thing in response, we have to use the status line. So in the status line, we have the three things, three fields, version of the HTTP, status code, and then region phase. The example has been given. So HTTP 1.1. So recent thing they have given. So recent thing. So HTTP version has been given status code we can see in next slide, and then region, what is the reason for this, the code citizen okay they have given. So in next slide we can go for this one. So status code. So 200 means the reason for the was the OK. So familiarly we know the 403. So 403 error whenever we are browsing the some data in a website means so something we have error will become. So 403 forbidden. The link has been broken or the data is not available. So we will get the 403 error. So like this, a lot of codes will be there. So corresponding reasons will be given here. So 201 is the created, 202 is the accepted, 301 is the moved permanently, 400 is the unauthorized, 403 is the forbidden, and 404 not found. So and 500 is the internal server error. So next one is the header field. So header field is a response similar to the request message. So same thing will be repeated. So this is the example we have seen. So here they given the HTTP version and then status code and then reason for the reason phase for the particular status. 200 means it is okay. Suppose if it is 403 means 403 4 is a forbidden one or link is broken something. So these kind of things will be present in this the message body. So next we are going to see about the web clients and web servers. So already we know general term of the client and the server. So now we go into the web client. So it is the kind of software that runs on the client's machine, is of course. Okay. So what are the web client software will be? That means it's a web browser. So it is the one of the main things. So web browser, it is a basic thing. So browsers running on the mobile phone, software robots that crawl on the web for retrieving the information. So user agents assist with the browsing web. So these are all the web examples for the web clients. Okay. So next one is the URL. Already we discussed in the previous slides. So URL, so uniform resource locator. So what is the use of uniform resource locator? Means it's a unique address for the file that has to be accessed over the internet. For example, take given as the www.google.com. So here before that I have prefixed as the http colon forward slash double forward slash will be there. Okay, so http is the name of the protocol and the www is the world wide web. So this is the domain name server. So .com, .edu, .az, .in. So like that, so a lot of things will be there. So this is the domain name. So this is known as the URL. Okay. So the URL may contain the name of the protocol such as the FTP. Of course, instead of HTTP, we can use the FTP also. Based on the user request. It may be web. Okay. So here they given as a FTP double colon and forward slash some address has been given to retrieve the particular file. Okay, the protocol identifier and the resource name are separated by the colon and two forward slash. Already told, so there is a colon and then two forward slash. The syntax for writing URL is given below. So protocol, so either it may be HTTP or FTP colon double forward slash username or path or file name. So path and then said file name has been given. Sometimes we can give the IP address also instead of the domain name or domain server name. We can give as the IP address. If you know the IP address, we can give. Suppose I'm working as a local server, local host means I can give as a IP address. Also, no need to give the domain name because domain name it is not possible for an internal thing. So next one is the web server. So web server is a special type of server to which web browser submits the request of the web page, which is desired by the client. Simple. So, whatever the client is requested to the server, so that has been given, written back to the or given by the written back to the client by the server. Okay. So the web server accepts the request from the web servers, and then user request is processed by the web server. So what is requested by the user that has been processed, and then third point is that the web server responds to the users by providing the services so which they demand for over the web browser. So what has been demanded. So what type of data is requested by the user that has been given to the web browser. Okay, the web servers serve the web-based applications. Then DNS, domain name server, translate the domain name into the IP address. Okay, so this is the main, it's a huge one, a huge topic is the domain name system. So it is converted into the IP address to the domain name. So we can see in later on sessions, the server verify the given address exists, find the necessary files and run the appropriate scripting, exchange cookies if necessary, and return back to the browser. Some servers actively participate in the session handling techniques. We can see in later on session unit 3 and 4. Unit 3, we can see the session handling techniques. Okay, so there are two web servers right now we are using. So one is the Apache and another one is the IIS. So Apache is excellent free excellent service. So why it is means it has the best features. It's a reliability and efficiency. That is the main thing. Another one is the important thing is that it's an open source software. That is why we are mostly using the Apache. So another one is the IIS, so Internet Information Server, or we can call it the Internet Information service like that. Okay, so it is a kind of web service which is provided by the Microsoft company. So this is the most popular on the Windows platform. Yes, this is an important thing. So IIS and then Apache is the two familiar web server. Okay, so next we can go for the mockup language. So first off we have seen, so up to this web essentials client servers, up to the web clients and web servers. So we can see the basic things. So what is the basic things will be there. So now only we are moving for the creating the web pages. For the creating the web pages, what are things are there? In unit 1 they have given us a mockup language. So through the HTML hypertext markup language, so how we can write the language like that, we can see what are the things, what are the tags we have to know, we can see one by one. So introduction to the HTML. So HTML, so it's an hypertext markup language. We can simply a piece of a text that works as the link. Okay, it's an easiest language. It's very dead easy. Okay, so it is a case sensitive language and writing layout information within the document. So how we can it can be categorized means, so hypertext mark language. So inside the hypertext markup language, so either you have the head or body. Okay, so within the head you have the title. We can, if you see the one examples, you can easily understand this hierarchy. So before that we can see what are the basic of HTML, what is HTML. Okay, so HTML is a stand-up markup language for creating the web pages, not websites. Website is a collection of web pages. So we are going to create the one single web page means by using HTML. So one of the earliest traditional method, I can tell is an earliest and traditional method. So it stands for the hypertext markup language, and it describes the structure of web page using the markup. So it's a markup language. So the inside the HTML we have the lot of elements to building the blocks. So a lot of elements will be there. We can see one by what are the elements are there. So it has been represented by the tags. So we have the lot of contents, so heading, paragraph, table. So whenever we go for the creating the web page, so we can use this head, paragraph, table, and so on. Okay. So how we can use this one means, so it is surrounded by the two characters. This one. So this is the angle brackets we can tell. So the open and close will be there. This is the angle brackets. For example, it will comes as a pairs only. If it is open, this one is a closed one. That only have it as mentioned, it is a start tag, this one is a end tag. So b, it's a bold like that, it is a bold. So it's a bold, it's a uh, open tag bold, is a closed tag bold. So the text between the start and end text, the element is the content. So within this tags, whatever I am giving the contents, it will be considered, it will be converted as the bold font type. Okay, this is not a case sensitive. If you make it like this, capital B and small b, so it doesn't consider it is a case. It is not a case sensitive one. Okay, so before next one is the versions of the HTML. So what are the versions will be there? So in 1991, the first version of the HTML has been introduced. Next one, 1995 2.0, 97 3.2, 99 4.01, and next HTML. And then 2000 and 2014 HTML5. So after that, so HTML has been migrated to the recent tools we can see in later on sessions in unit 4 and 5 we can see. Okay, so this is the HTML page structure. So this is the starting tag, this one is the ending tag. So HTML starting tag, and this one is a heading ending tag. So inside the HTML tag you have the head and the body. So already we see here. So inside the HTML you have the head and the body. So within the head it may be have the title also. So this is the head. So this is the title you are having. So inside that you can see it is a page title. So whatever the I am giving the title here, in the title page it will be available. Okay. So within the body you can give the heading, paragraph, or table creation. So it may be either a checkbox or radio button, whatever it may be. You can use here. Okay. So this is the simple HTML program they have given. So this is the thing. So this is the HTML code, HTML open tag, this is the close tag. So within the open tag, I given the head. So within the head, I am given the title. So my first web page. I have closed this title and I closed the head. So within the body, so I given that this is my first home page. That should be a normal text. So another next thing I given as the bold. So this is the text is bold, and this body has been closed, and the HTML tag also will be closed. So whenever I run this program, so whatever will happen means, let us see. So just I will copy this content. So by using the notepad, I am pasting. So keep remember, so you have to I'm giving the program one. So program one dot html, you have to save the program in the html mode. Okay, so finally I have to close. Just a minute. So it has been saved. So just I am double clicking this one. So I am getting the this content. So this is the content we have given. So this is my first home page. This is the bold text. Okay. So in this PPT, this is the my first home page, and this is the bold. So instead of that, I am making a some other thing. So just I am editing this one. So just make a right click of it and give open with, give for the notepad. So instead of this text, so I'm changing some other things. So KNCET CSC. Okay. So just I am saving. Again I am refreshing this one. So here this has been done, changes has been done. So KNCT CSC, it has been making as a bold one. Okay. So this is the simple program for the HTML thing. Okay. So lot of tags will be there. So the first one is the doc type. So defines the document type. That one is the HTML document. So defines the what type of HTML document. Then head, so defines the information about the document. So next is the title, defines the title of the document. So I have to forgot to mention the title. See, listen, this is my first web page. So this is the title. So instead of the type, I will change this title name as the first one. I will make it as a Congo Nadu. Okay, so Congo Nadu. So I'm saving and refreshing me. So here the title has been changed. The web page title will be changed. Okay. So title and then body, so defines the document's body. So h1 to h6, so defines the HTML heading. So size of the headings will be that. Then paragraph is a P represent the paragraph. So B represent the single break. Okay, so single break line. So HR represents the thematic change of the content. Then this one is a comment. So last one is the comment section. Okay, fine. So next we are going to see about the frames and the forms. Okay. So what is in the frames in the HTML? So frames allows us to represent the documents in the multiple views. So consider this is the web page. So frame one, frame two, and frame three. So this entire page has been divided to represent the different types of documents. So using the multiple views. So using the multiples, we can keep the certain information visible at the same time. Other views also scrolled or replaced. You can make a scroll or replaced. Okay. So in this one, how we can set the frame size, frame segments. So we can set the divide this window into the two columns or two vertical frames. Means star means so any number of pixels, means number of pixels. Next one, it may be we divide as the row also. So divide that window into the rows. Maybe the two horizontal frames or three horizontal frames based on the user requirement maybe vary. Otherwise, we can use the percentage also. So by using 30/70 or 40/70 or 40/60 like that, we can make it as a percentage by also. Okay, so we can see one example program for the frames creation. So first one, frameset.html. So in this one, I'm going to set the as usual. First one is the document type HTML. So first we have to define the document type. Second one, I'm going for the HTML. This is the HTML tag. So in the HTML tag, I have to set the column size as in 25% and 55%, and then inside the first HTML set, I'm going to give in a three HTML program. So three HTML thing. One is the frame one HTML, and then frame two, and then frame three. So what all things are present in the frame one, frame two, frame three? We can see. So frame set has been closed here. So this is the one set of program. So this is the part of the program, is the main thing. So next one is frame one.html. So same thing, so document type and then HTML body. So within the body, so I am going to define the frame one that consists of the heading number one, so h1, heading one. And next one, frame two. So I'm giving the same thing. So document type HTML, and then body H2 has a frame two. Likewise, the frame three also. So whenever I execute, so before that, I'm giving the scrolling for the frame one and the frame two. So frame source equal to frame one.html. Scrolling is no means if suppose scrolling is needed means it doesn't provide any scrolling, and or suppose you give no or something is not given means automatically it will be considered as a no. Suppose instead of no and nothing you have given, instead of giving that you have to give auto means depends upon the user content, so automatically this scrolling has been enabled. Okay, so whenever I execute this program, so you will get the frame like this. Okay, so in this one I didn't given for the scrolling type for this one. Okay, so this is the thing we have discussed. So next one is the last one is the forms. So forms is the already we know. Suppose I am going to create a registration form in the web page, means how we can go, how we can define, means we can see here. So form is the typical layout on the web page which user can interact with the web page. So what are the components will be there? So text and text area, checkbox, radio buttons, push buttons, like that will be there. So first one is the component is a text component. So this is the input type. Suppose I want to give the user name or user first name, last name. So I have to use this field. So this is a text field can be using the so input type. So it is considered as I am getting the input. So it is an input type equal to double within a double quotes I given as a text message only I am going to give. So you cannot give any numbers and all. So only you have to give the text only. So size of the label text field name. So what name should be have to represents an username. So next one is in text area. So once the text has been typed, next time. So for example, take type your name like that you are giving in a text means so you have to type means so you have to give the typing area. So text field is a component which allows to enter the single line text. What if want to have a multiple line text, you must use the text area component. So text area I make it as a column. So size has been as a 40, so rows 5. So name is the my name. So text area has been closed. Okay, so next one is a checkbox. So it is also input type. So this is a checkbox. So number of options we can use means we can go for this checkbox. Okay. So input the type of is a checkbox. So name given as the option one. So the option one, the name value has been given as the mango. So checked mango. So BR represents the break. So it has been given the line breaking. Okay. So the example program for this one is given as a as usual. You know very well. So document type HTML, then HTML header file. So title of this web page is the my form with the checkbox. In this program, I am going to give the demo for the form that will consist of the checkbox. Okay. So header file has been closed. So within the body, I am given the form name as a checkbox form. Okay. So giving the alignment. So division, some of the things we not discussed dividing and all. Later on session we can understand. You can easy only. Okay. So defined alignment equal to center. So that should be in a center format. So I'm giving the break. So and next it should not be typed continuously. It will give the break line. So it is given as a select the fruits of your choice. And then input types I am making is a three inputs. So first input is a checkbox. The option considers the mango. For the second checkbox, option two value is the apple, and then option three is the guava. Okay. So just we run this program. So let's go for the notepad. So copy this one. Save as fruits. So fruits.html. Okay. So I'm going to this one. So run this program. So this is the fruit we have given. So instead of I'm making as apple, guava, or mango, so whatever you need, you can make it as a thing. Okay, so it's a multiple selection. So if you use the radio button means you can make it a single selection at a time. So it is an checkbox means you can use multiple at a time. So next we are going to see about the radio button. Same thing. So input type. So instead of checkbox, I have to use the radio button. So value has been given. Okay, same thing. So instead of checkbox, you can make it as a radio. Okay, so same thing. Remaining contents will be the same thing only. Okay, so next one is the button. So we can create the button by using the input type as the button tag. So the input size will be the text type is the text and size is the 85. So whenever you put it is given as a submit, so value has been sent. Suppose the registration form contains the submit your details like that means finally I'm giving the submit means so input type will be the submit button. The values has been sent. Suppose I have typed in mismatchly or wrongly means I can make it as a reset button. Okay. So this is one is the menu they have given. So same thing. So form name is the my form. So alignments that should be in a center format. So select name is the my menu. So within the menu I have given as the mango, strawberry, banana, and then apple. Okay. So option value is the I have given as the menu items. Okay. So this is the menu bar creation we have seen. Okay. So next class we see about the HTML version 5.1.